So, what so many people, and maybe even you would too, are calling the greatest scandal in American history, nobody's talking about this story that just dropped from Blaze Media, and it has to do with identifying the long, mysterious suspect behind who was that individual in that surveillance footage who was laying those pipe bombs around Washington, D.C. on January 5th, 2021, right before the day that all the liberals, all the Democrats like to cite as the day that discounts and disqualifies President Trump from ever running again. We all know what day that is, and that's January 6th. I first covered this video that was released by the FBI back in early January, and they said they couldn't identify the suspect. The person was estimated to be approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, remains unidentified despite extensive investigation efforts. The public's help is being sought to identify this individual with a reward of up to $500,000 offered for information leading to the suspect's arrest and conviction. I don't know why nobody is talking about this, but let me show you a clip of that video that I did back in early January. God, I can't believe 2025 is almost done. It's just insanity. My wife was just talking to me this morning about Christmas decorations. Am I the only one that's going too fast? It's just going too fast. Let me know in the comments. Here's the video, though, that I did showing that footage that was released by the FBI in early January of 2025. Watch. FBI has released new video footage of a suspect who placed pipe bombs near the Democratic and Republican National Committee offices in Washington, D.C. a day before January 6th, 2021. Check out this new footage that just got released. Watch this. So there's no audio, but this is pretty clear. You can see I think it's a gentleman carrying a bag right there, going to sit down right outside the offices of the Republican Democratic committees. This is on January 5th. And this is the brand new footage. In that bag, supposedly, are the pipe bombs. This video is about a minute long. And this is just coming out now, 4 years later. One begs to wonder why the FBI has been sitting on this for an entire 4 years. This is the same FBI that said Matthew Thomas Crooks, the assassination attempter on President Trump-elect's life in Butler, Pennsylvania, acted alone. This is the same FBI that said Jabbar, there he is leaving, so he looks like he may have planted something. This is the same FBI that said that Jabbar, the individual who ran over people, shot at police before getting slayed himself by police in New Orleans just yesterday, on New Year's Day, 2025. This is the same FBI that said there's no link between what happened in New Orleans and what happened in Las Vegas, even though they both went to the same exact military fort, Fort Bragg. They both trained at the same place. They're both military. They both carried out their terrorist attacks using vehicles rented from the same exact app. And they both drove to their destination to commit their heinous crime on the very same day. Make it make sense. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for Kash Patel and Pam Bondi to take over and actually bring some sanity back to our security agencies. My goodness. Isn't that crazy? My gosh, just watching that. It seems like eons ago, the attack in Las Vegas, the horrific attack in New Orleans, early January. I mean, the news cycle goes so fast. It's hard to believe. But one thing that struck me in that video was my enthusiasm and excitement to get rid of the Biden regime, FBI and intelligence agency heads and bring in Patel and Pam Bondi. After everything that's occurred right now, I can't say that my enthusiasm is the same as it was back then. I still trust these guys, but I don't know. So again, just to give a little, that was just to give a little bit of context. And then this was posted on X very recently. Check this out. So this is Steve Baker, who is an investigative reporter for Blaze Media. That's Glenn Beck, if you wanted some reference. And he posted this. He says, I asked you to be patient. We win. Deep State loses. J6 is the biggest scandal in American history. Story coming late tonight or early tomorrow. Love you all, even the naysayers. This was another post by Steve. He says, update on J6 pipe bomber report. After an abundance of counsel from trusted parties within and outside the government, we've hit the pause button so those interested parties can have some more time to look at the J6 pipe bomber evidence. There are things they need to do internally. This is a real story. When it breaks, it's going to be a huge story. There are a lot of moving parts, but we need to give them time to do what they need to do. And I know everyone is waiting. Believe me, tensions are running high. There have been a lot of sleepless nights the last 2 weeks, but this is a game changer. And we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that right now. I was up at 3:30 a.m. preparing the video clips for the release on this morning's Glenn Beck program. Contrary to what so many ex-complainers will say, this wasn't a hype stunt for views and clicks. And no, the government didn't silence us. Glenn and I both were pretty amped up to put it all out this morning, and we were both very disappointed when the decision to postpone was made. The government's investigation into the J6 pipe bombs was going nowhere just 2 weeks ago. Today, I can tell you that has all changed. A bunch of people got pretty spun up yesterday. Hang tight. It's all coming. So they were getting a lot of hate, it appears, that, this was just right-wing conspiracy, because that's what they always do. And maybe even some people on the right were saying the same thing. Be that as it may, they did finally release their report, and I'm going to share it with you right now. But first, I wanted to share this too, which I think was interesting because he's coming under so much scrutiny and pushback from Trump and a lot of Trump loyalists. I myself think, I love Trump, but I don't consider myself any part of any group. I love America. I'm always about America first, and I have no problem issuing any kind of verification or criticism on anybody, even President Trump. As much as I love him, I voted for him 3 times, but I don't consider myself part of this or that. I love America. I'm America first. I'm here to protect my family, protect my kids. I want protect my country and share the truth. That's literally it. Our mission here is to make common sense go viral. But Thomas Massie, actually, I just came across this clip of him giving an interview back in 2023 that I think gives some even more context to what I'm about to share. Check this out.
I got to turn now to January 6th because we still have no idea who placed that pipe bomb, the pipe bombs near the DNC and RNC headquarters the night before. And today you sent a letter to the FBI director, Wray. Well, what's in that letter, and what do you expect to hear from him at this point?
Well, Jim Jordan and I had a chance to interview the guy who was in charge of the D.C. field office, who was in charge of finding out who this pipe bomber was. And it turns out we're 900 days later. They don't have a suspect. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned in this interview with him was that the phone data was corrupted. I asked him, I said, so, we saw on the video the suspect the night before who you think planted the bomb. We saw them use a phone a few times. How did you use the phone data? And he said, basically, well, you're not going to believe this. He even used the word conspiracy theory. He didn't want to tell us because he thought it would fuel more conspiracy theories, that they went to the phone providers and the data was corrupted.
This is like Epstein's camera was not working right in the cell,
Keystone
right?
Cops or something.
Now we have the ability, as we saw in January 6th when they were looking over people's bank records, geo-fencing them, tracking them with their cell phone tracking technology, and no suspects. So it's all because that technology was not working properly. And we have cameras in every inch of Capitol Hill, every single inch.
That is what he claims. The geofence data was corrupted.
Oh, how convenient.
Okay, the other question that I asked him was, could these bombs have gone off? I asked him to explain to me how a 1-hour kitchen timer can set a bomb off 17 hours later. And he admitted for the first time, and this contradicts what he said in the media before, that it couldn't. And then the other thing that I asked him was, given all these coincidences, wouldn't the people who discovered the bombs be suspects? Since the bombs were basically inert and then they were found within 20 minutes of the first breach of the Capitol, both bombs. He said, that's investigation 101. Yes, both of those people would be suspects. I said, who found the second bomb? He said, I don't know. I said, do you have any video? He doesn't know. We've got video at the Capitol that I've reviewed. I think we've got video of who found the second bomb, and we're going to be back to the FBI and say, why didn't you follow up with this person?
I mean, I'm with Laura Ingraham, and I'm sure you are too. I think this is a complete bogus story. Somebody's not telling the truth. We've got Nancy Pelosi, who says that she begged President Trump to put in the National Guard. The chief of Capitol Police, Sund, saying unequivocally that's not true. I requested the National Guard multiple times and was denied 7 times. And not until after the chaos ensued was he given the green light. He testified to that, and he basically put his whole life and reputation on the line. So we know that's not true. We know Nancy Pelosi, give me a break. We know she's lying. Never mind the fact that the FBI's former report under Christopher Wray that there were maybe a dozen FBI informants in the crowd that day was completely debunked. It's now over 247. So that raises a ton of questions, right? And then this ridiculous answer from this ATF guy to Thomas Massey, none of it makes any sense. And this is the big bombshell report that really, I think, puts the icing on the cake. Check this out. So I give complete and full credit to Blaze Media for uncovering this. And so what they have uncovered, and I'll even give a link to the full article, is that a forensic analysis of a female former U.S. Capitol officer's gait is a 94 to 98% match to the unique stride of the long-sought, you guessed it, J6 pipe bomb suspect that you see on the screen. So how did they do that? So a software algorithm that analyzes walking parameters, including flexion, knee bend, hip extension, speed, step length, cadence, and variance, rated Shawnee Ray Kirkhoff, a 31-year-old of Alexandria, Virginia, as a 94% match to the bomb suspect. Now, I don't know anything about this. Is there a 6% chance it's not her? Sure. I'm not the expert in these analyses, but 94%, I mean, that's pretty strong, isn't it? The veteran analyst who ran the analysis for Blaze News said that based on visual observations, the program can struggle with, he personally pegged the match at closer to 98% match. So Kirkhoff, who is this Kirkhoff, who you see on the screen right here? So she was a Capitol police officer for 4.5 years, left the department in mid-2021 for security detail at the CIA. A CIA spokeswoman, Liz Lyon, stated that the subject worked in campus security. Kirkhoff's residence in Alexandria, Virginia, appeared to be under the watch of law enforcement officers on Friday night. Remember, the FBI failed to solve the case in nearly 5 years, but indicated it was closing in after Blaze brought this investigation to intelligence resources. Chief of Capitol Police at the time, Sund, said, quote, I had no knowledge that it was being carried out, nor were they carrying it out with any authorization from the chief's office. He continues, I'm unaware of any legitimate reason that any Capitol Police or other law enforcement officer would be involved in the planting of those pipe bombs. The possible solution to this pipe bomb mystery could have far-reaching reverberations. Who was this Kirkhoff person? She was born in November 1993 in Hamilton, Ohio, the youngest of 3 daughters. Among her skills, Shawnee Kirkhoff said she can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than a minute. She completed the 2018 Boston Marathon in 3 hours and 34 minutes and 9 seconds. I'm assuming that's really good. I'm not a marathon runner, as you can see. She attended Olentangy Orange High School in Lewis Center, Ohio, about 20 miles north of the capital city of Columbus. She was a soccer standout, top academic achiever. 31 years old, National Honor Society membership. She earned second all-team state honors in 2011, first all-team all-conference her junior and senior years. She went on to play goalie for Division I Temple Owls in Philadelphia. Let's see. She started the next 45 games. She also won academic honors, including the Philadelphia Inquirer Academic All-Area Women's Soccer Team. She had some terrible accident, and she ended up having to give up soccer. But then she was quoted in the Temple News as saying, quote, "This is going to sound demented when I say this, but I'm grateful that I broke my leg, because had I not, I wouldn't have pursued my dream job." She was hired by the Capitol Police in 2018. She testified in a January 6 criminal trial that she applied for her current job before January 6 and left the United States Capitol Police in good standing. The Capitol Police did not respond to any of the allegations or stories. So if there's a reward for this suspect, and it seems like Blaze News has done an excellent job of investigating this, using forensic analysis to study the gait of the suspect. I think 94 to 98% is pretty darn close, at least worth looking into. One wonders, there's a lot of questions here. Pelosi, we know she lied. The chief of Capitol Police can corroborate that. We know the FBI lied. Christopher Wray lied. The then director of the FBI lied. There was way more than a dozen informants. There was over 240, to be more precise. Why was this person, and what happened to this investigation, and why did the FBI drop the ball on this when they released that footage I shared with you earlier? All these questions need answering. And really, the impetus for this video, I was kind of sitting on this until what I saw today from Kash Patel. Check this out.
And we've been working like we have with the deputy director to unearth that. And as it relates to major investigations of public importance like the pipe bomber, again, I say, stay tuned. We reviewed every single investigation of public consequence, reopened them, reevaluated them, because we feel it cannot go untouched. We are not going to let these things lay by and allow the fake news media to run roughshod over us. Our indictments speak powerfully in court. If you don't believe us, just look at the response that the Eastern District of Virginia under Lindsay Halligan did to James Comey, and look at the notes and publication of evidence. That's the type of material we have, but we have to safeguard our prosecutions, because the ultimate accountability is with the verdict in a jury room.
So Kash says that they're working on it and to stay tuned. I guess things are coming. I mean, we've kind of heard that a bunch. After publication, one thing I'd like to note of this article by Blaze, Steve Bunnell, I think I'm saying that wrong probably, who the Washington Post identified as an attorney for Kirchhoff, told the Post his client, quote, categorically denies, end quote, that she planted the pipe bombs. Well, at the very least, somebody needs to investigate this. I'm hoping the FBI does. I'm hoping the legal authorities and not investigative reporters are really at the kind of lead here in this investigation and really taking the reins. Otherwise, what in the world are you guys doing? If this individual matches through forensic gait analysis over 90%, I would think that warrants a legitimate kind of looking into, and maybe even a legitimate kind of warrant to at least bring her in and ask her some very, very serious questions and make sure she has an alibi, etc., etc. At the very least, we need to figure out and find out who this person is, because if we don't know who this individual was, and God forbid if they actually have ties to government agencies and were perhaps even hired by top officials in God knows what capacity, this is, quite frankly, legitimately the greatest scandal in American history. And isn't it funny how President Trump seems to be at the center of another monumental scandal, monumental lie in U.S. political history, where the Democrats have had 12 of the last 16 years of full power. Things that make you go, I'm going to keep you up to date if Kash Patel, the FBI, or any investigations arise from this. I thought that this was worth sharing, given the fact that Kash Patel seemed so adamant, even though he hadn't seemed adamant for a very long time about this topic and this investigation. I mean, they released something in early January. I did a video on it. I shared it with you guys, and then silence, crickets. I know a lot's happened since then. I know Epstein and God knows so many other things are happening. We're trying to close a border. We're trying to fix our country. Our country needs to heal. I'm not placing blame. I'm not casting aspersions or any accusations. But I would say that if there's any truth to this story, we've got something that at the very least requires some serious attention, and the American people need serious answers. Give me a thumbs up if you love America. We're trying to spread common sense, make it go viral. Tap that thumbs up, please. Leave a comment. Share this out. Even if you're watching on your remote, you can do it if you're watching on TV. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. If you haven't seen them, tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.